Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now, you guys know regularly on the channel we cover things like accessories and things of that sort that you would normally carry on you. Things like pens, things like your wallet, various things of that sort, watches, sometimes tools. So what we're getting into now is kind of a mini management system of some of those things. So what we have here in front of us today is from the same company, two different sizes, because I actually wanted to see what size fits me, but also too, I was actually purchasing one of these for my cousin as a birthday gift. So, and a little kind of setup of like a multi-tool for him and whatever the case is. So for anyone who's interested, you can see if these kind of fit your style. Also, link's going to be in the description down below for these on Amazon, but you can also see on Amazon has a bunch of different types from this brand. This is called Viperade, and spelled Viper and ADE, almost like Gatorade, but Viperade. This is the VE18-S. In the link in the description is going to say it as the S next to it, but essentially it's the small of the VE18 because it has two sizes. One that's a little bit smaller, another one's a little bit bigger. And this one right here is the VE15, which is also, it doesn't have an S next to it because it doesn't have two different variations of this one, but it's even smaller one. I also purchased these not only just to find out one I was going to give away or a style that I was going to give away to see if it fits my cousin, but also wanted to test them out because I wanted to see about having one for myself. Now, depending on your application, and I'm going to open these up right now as I speak. Depending on your application, if you want like a pocket management system in your pocket, the smaller one is going to be better, which right here you have, like I said, the 15. I'm just going to call it by the number 15, the other one by the 18S. But the 15 is a little bit smaller. Put that right side up. And the 18S is a little bit bigger. And if you wanted something that you put in your pocket versus something that maybe you throw in a pocket of your bag or maybe even in your car, if you're going to throw something in your car, I would say you can go a little bit bigger. If you're going to put it inside your pants pocket, obviously you'd want to go a little bit smaller then. So here you could see the two of these next to each other side by side. There's a small difference, but I really would say that if this is the 15 and this is the 18S, if being that this is the 18S, it's a smaller version of the 18. I don't know what the 18 would have been like. You can go on the webpage and it'll show you the difference, but in real world, it's probably just a tad bit. The difference is probably around the same difference between the 18S versus the 15 is the same difference between the 18S versus the 18. And you could see here, bear with me guys a little bit, I'm kind of just getting over a cold. You could see here that just on the front side here, the zipper side, or we'll call it the main side, the Velcro side, whatever you want to call it, the 18S has an additional pocket here, a sliding pocket. Obviously less Velcro material because you have that sliding pocket. You have the zipper pocket here, which is decent in size. And then this one has a zipper pocket here, which feels almost about the same. This one doesn't have a pocket on the top. Yeah, this one, the 15 does not have a pocket on the top. You can see the branding right there. This one, the 18S does, so it gives you a little bit more options. And then also on the back, you can see they both have these, I forget the term that they call these, little like kind of strap pieces. There's a name I've seen them call it before, but anyway, these little clip parts where you can put something to clip it on here. They both have those, but which could be something usable for, say, maybe like a pin. I've seen some people do a pin. Let me try to get this in here just to kind of demonstrate it. They'll do it upside down because that way, and of course I have the hardest time getting it open while I'm on camera. And they'll do that upside down because the rest of the things are sliding this way, but that's the only way you can have it attached with the clip, even though it is upside down. You can have that in your pocket, but I personally wouldn't like the idea of a pen being upside down in my pocket just because of the way ink flows. I'm not saying that it will guarantee to happen in that way, but yeah, I'm gonna keep a regular pen on the side because I'm gonna try to put one of those in. Now, just going over all the spots on it as well, continuing off, this one here, the 18S, has 2 right here and then one bigger one. And this one's supposed to be able to accommodate a cell phone and or maybe like a little mini notepad. So the 18S and obviously the 18, which would be a little bit bigger than this, is definitely more of an all-inclusive kind of pack where if you really want to hold a lot of things and this thing could replace your regular wallet, you could do that. This one would be kind of what I was thinking of. Maybe, I don't know if the size is going to matter much of a difference to go with this one because the size is not that much different. But the way I generally do my setup in my pockets is in my left pocket, I'll have my wallet and I'll hold my chapstick. In my right pocket, I'll hold my keys and I will hold I'll hold a pen. Now, if it's like a regular big pen, which often I'll just throw on me, I can keep that like that. If it's a more of a fancier pen, I got to put it in one of the cases. And the reason why is because often these type of pens like this, you see right there, the tip is not too sharp, but I'll bring out my other Parker pen. The tip is pretty sharp. I don't want that cutting into my jeans at the bottom and creating a hole in them. Along with the fact that a metal pen, you don't want it to get scratched by other things in your pocket, like your keys. So that's why at that point, there's a little bit of extra bulk going on in your pocket, not substantially, but a little bit extra bulk in your pocket with your keys, and then having the actual case for the pens, including this one right here is the same way and the same thing. It does have metal on this one with a little bit of plastic, but nonetheless, you'd scratch up the plastic finish on this. You'd scratch up the metal finish on it if you had keys in your pocket. So at that point, you want to have these protectors in it or carry cases in it with it. If you're using one of these though, you could, so the purpose of what I was thinking of this for, there's 2 different things. One, the one I'm gonna give to my cousin probably would be more so in this dynamic size, might even have to be bigger, but it was supposed to be more of something that he could throw in his pocket or maybe even throw in his car, because I'm putting together a little set for him with a little mini flashlight and a multi-tool, which I'm gonna take out of his pouch and put inside there. Let me put that on the side here real quick, and I'm going to put the flashlight on the side there real quick as well, up to the side, because I'm going to introduce them into the video in a moment. But the point I was going to get at is that for me, I was thinking of a not replacement setup, but a more organized setup for my right pocket, which, like I said before, I'll have a pen and maybe my car keys. In this case, I would be able to do something like that, throwing in a pair of keys inside there and a pen, maybe like that. I don't really like the way that looks too tall for this. That's the one problem with this type of pouch. That's kind of too tall. Let me see if it fits better in this type, because maybe it's got more room. It's hard to say. They still go up high, so that might not be, but nonetheless, it's still in my pocket. That's the height of the pen in my pocket anyway. It just got a little more leeway, but it shouldn't affect anything differently, but it just helps to keep that pocket a little more organized. I could even then take my chapstick from my left pocket and put it in my right pocket with this. So that was the idea of just having a little bit more organized setup. Obviously, this is a little more, it says tactical on this, tactical equipment. This is not so much with a more dressy setup. So, I mean, you probably wouldn't want to use this with a dressy setup if you're wearing jeans, maybe. It was just something I was thinking about, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to go with that. But like I said, for my cousin, I really wanted to give him something that he could throw in his car, in his center console, and just kind of have a little kind of setup of things that he'll have between a flashlight and, you know, standard pen. I got a bunch of these pens, so I'm just gonna throw it in there with it, and a multi-tool. So with that being said, let me just kind of go over these things a little bit more. I already showed you all the pockets and stuff like that. Here you have this little loop as well on the 15 where you could maybe attach like a keychain, and then you can hang it from something, maybe a one of those carabiner clips, you know, and then attach it to your bag. So I have one on here and then just attach it to your bag at any given point in time. This one has these two loops. This is the 18S, and so it's a little different, but nonetheless, you can use it just about the same way. There is a substantial difference in terms of the pockets and the layout with this one, I feel, with the 18S. It is thicker also, so it has more room for you to kind of squeeze something into it like that, versus this one, it's less room for you to kind of get something in there because you can see the edges are not going to stretch at all. Where this one, you can see it stretches because the top zipper means that it's just the way it's designed from the top opening gives you more room to stretch. And obviously you have additional pockets. So what I'm going to do now, after just pretty much, these are just basic pouches, so it's not something long to go over. Just wanted to go over what my intention was with them and sharing with you guys a little bit of ideas that you could use for them as well. Like I said, what I'm doing for my cousin, or the one I was contemplating for myself, one as to keep in the pocket for myself, and then one as an option for my cousin. If you're in that same type of vibe where you want to just throw something in your car, that might fit the vibe for you. So a person could, if they want, say if this is in their pocket, I don't know why it's taking so long to do. And you could have this hanging outside your pocket while this is in your pocket. You could do that option there. Take the regular pen, throw that on there like that. Like I said, if this is something you're just throwing in your car, it's fine. Now, this is more the standard size multi-tool nowadays. I want to say Leathermans are usually a little bit slimmer, and some of them won't have a pocket clip, some of them do. But the reason why, like, you know, I think most people, not a lot of people are going to have Leatherman expenses to be able to just buy for something like this, because, you know, a Leatherman will cost you sometime over $100. So I think the size of this is a little more fitting towards the norm. I'm sorry if I was a little, let me raise the camera angle a little bit so I make sure everything's mostly in focus. Sorry if things have been out of focus. I wanted to see if this would fit, and I'm getting the vibe that it doesn't, and that's interesting because I've seen some people put some tools inside these things before, but I guess they were actually very small tools. So what I was trying to accomplish here doesn't necessarily work at this size. Now I could put in the bigger pouch here, and that works. Lift up this, slide it down. So that works, but that's supposed to be the bigger pouch for other things. And I've seen people put multi-tools in these pouches, but those must have been smaller multi-tools. So just for the sake of the video, then I'm going to introduce a couple of other multi-tools that are better size fit to go in it, even though that wasn't where I was going with it for the purpose of what I was giving away to my family member. Now, for myself, I did contemplate taking one of my, if not my favorite multi-tool is the arm bar, Gerber arm bar, mainly because the things that it has for being like it's not going to replace a multi-tool that when you need pliers, but I just like that it's so small and pocketable. I have the slim version here, and this should fit without a problem here in this one, so that's not too bad. But this definitely gives you a sense of the size of the tools that you're going to have to put inside these things to make them work. Then a person could put their keys inside here, their car keys inside here. At least my setup would be a pair of car keys. I'm just going to put this flashlight in there for now to mimic my car keys. Obviously the car keys will be a little bit bigger, but you get the idea. And then that would have to go inside my pocket. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try to squeeze this in my jean pockets. Unfortunately, you guys aren't able to see, but I am going to inform you guys on what the experience is like. So putting it in my right pocket, because like I mentioned before, that would be the pocket that I would put it in. And it fits fine. And it It fits fine. It doesn't make my jeans pocket, I have a pair of jeans on right now, and it doesn't make it any more bulkier than I would say my wallet is. So that part I think is nice. Obviously, having car keys in it, it makes the process of getting car keys out a little bit more tedious. But obviously, once you are where you're at, you're not gonna go in your pocket for your keys that often. And if you have a jacket on, you could just throw your car keys in your jacket pocket until the moment that you know, if you're gonna go right back in the car. Now, the way I did it was this side was facing outwards. I'm gonna now make that side facing inwards to see if that makes a difference in the way it feels in the pocket. And that essentially just puts the pen a little closer to me. I'm going to sit down and see. It doesn't make it that much of a difference, though. I think I would prefer the pen or the side that I said now is facing against me with the tool and everything, and the pen to now be on the outer side, facing outwards away from me if I'm going to be sitting down. But other than that, it works fine for that purpose. So for what I wanted it for, I don't think this is that bad at all. I am going to test this one for myself as well and see how that feels, if it makes a difference or not with the extra bulk, because then by keeping that one, it gives you more options if it doesn't feel like it's any bigger. And I'm going to come back to the situation with my setup that I am giving away to a family member, my cousin, and see how that one feels in a moment. So what I found is that by you can put these on opposite ends, but I think that when you put these on the same side, it feels a little bit more comfortable. And then have that be on the outer part. Like this will be facing the outer part of the pants, and this will be the part that touches your body. I will take the little mini flashlight out. I already did. Put that in here to simulate my keys, or if you wanted to actually just have the flashlight in it, I'm gonna give a mini flashlight like that to my cousin. I bought a brand new one, it's the same one. So I'm gonna put this in my pocket. I'm gonna tell you how that feels. It feels pretty much the same thing. So you don't notice it in terms of how it feels in your pocket, really. There is a difference in size between the two, but it's really not that much noticeable. Will it make your pocket a little bit more bulky? Yes. Is it that much of a difference? Not really. But I guess it all depends on what you're gonna use it for, because now by using this one, it gives you the option to pocket it, or even the option to just throw it in your center console of your car or whatever the case is. So I'm just gonna quickly show that this does accommodate this tool right here. This one's a little thicker than the slim, you could see, and that is significant on these pouches. If it was some other kind of pouch, the difference in these two is not that big, but for these, it is significant because we're talking about minor differences at this scale and size. So yes, like this doesn't even fit in here smoothly in almost any way. It fits, but it's not as comfortable, where the slim is definitely a better fit. So I'm glad that I was able to test out both of those. This is the bigger one, this is the 18S, and the slim, the armbar slim, is definitely a huge difference in terms of fitting on there. Now this is a little bit slimmer than the regular armbar. It's wider though, but I think that it should still, okay, it's kind of tough in this pocket. I'm not gonna force it. Let's see about this side. No, it's too wide. But you can put it in the big pocket here, and that's fine. I thought this tool would fit better inside this, and it actually doesn't, not as good as I thought it would. But this one, it should fit pretty well, because this one's pocket here is a little more wider than this one's pocket, I think, because it is the only pocket, this one and the one next to it, rather than the two pockets and then a zipper here. So that fits it a little bit better. So if this was your tool of choice, you could do that. What's nice with this is you could take the bit kit that goes with it. Can't slide it there, but you can slide it here. The only negative with that on this, on the 15, is that you're really taking up this whole thing now just for that. And you could keep this in your pocket, but at that point, you really aren't going to be holding almost anything else with it, as far as I'm concerned. You're not really holding anything else with it at that point. And I think that becomes a little bit of like where you're like, okay, like, you know, well, you could hold a pen. You could do that. You could do that. But it does feel like it's a lot of pouch being used for just these two things if someone went that route. That's just my thoughts. You know, I wasn't intending on putting these smaller tools in here, but it was nice to be able to show it and display it for you guys. Now, the arm bar was something I was thinking about. I didn't know if they would make a difference between the slim and the regular. I thought that it wouldn't be a big deal, but it actually is a pretty significant deal in this pouch, in either one of these pouches. So I think that was nice to be able to find out that difference, because I did consider that. So now, putting all these other tools aside that I would use, I'm gonna see if the setup for my cousin is worth it like this, or should I just get a bigger pouch, return one of these, the one that I feel is not for me, and get a bigger pouch for him. And I'm almost thinking in a way that I should, and part of the reason why is, like I said, this, well, let me test it out to see how well it fits in my pocket. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the flashlight here and I'm gonna clip it on the top like I did before. And what I'm gonna do is have that dangle outside. The reason why is because of this specific type of flashlight. That's a benefit for this flashlight, because, and I've done a review on this in the channel before, it's a magnetic. So once you detach it, the light works. So if this is dangling out of your pocket, like let's assume my hand is my pocket and this is in my pocket and this is dangling outside of the pocket area, the outside of your pocket, that's nice, because then you can just pull this off from your pocket, shine the light, attach it when you want to, and that's it. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna take a pen, throw this here in this pocket here. Matter of fact, I will put it in this front pocket here. See if that makes it feel a little bit better. And then obviously if a person wants to put maybe some dollars inside there, they could. And I'm gonna put this in my pocket and see how this feels in the pocket like this. It's a little crowded with that big multi-tool, but let's see how it feels. So it works. The only negative I'm gonna say is it sits too low in the pocket to where the flashlight is now sticking straight up like this in the pocket. It's not able to flip over the edge of the pocket and go like that. It's like sticking like that. So that part I would have to change up. But aside from that, you can still leave it on there, but then it bumps the tip of the top of the multi-tool, which I don't like. Other than that, it sits in there. I'm gonna take the flashlight off for now. What I'm gonna do, let's see, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that, put the flashlight on the side like that, see if how that works for now. Stuff this in the pocket. It's bulky. It is bulky, but it's I don't like the look and feel of that. It's usable, but people are definitely gonna look at your pocket and go, okay, like he looks like, it's equal to one of those people who've got one of those really fat wallets where the wallets are stuffed and their wallet is like over an inch thick. It's like one of those things. So I'm not really a fan of this, you know, for the style purpose of trying to be a little more conservative with it. But as far as just something you can throw in your glove compartment or center console in your car, it works. It works in that regards. Just a way to kind of keep everything together. So I think that if you're just looking for something that's a little low profile, not too bulky, it will do the job for that. So I think I will keep this one for my cousin because it does the job. And this one's got a lot more extra room versus the 15, the 18S, where you still got the pocket here and the pocket here. So just for the hell of it, let's just stuff it up. Let me see what I could just do with this. I wouldn't obviously put this because this is doubling up on a tool that is already being utilized. This right here can do what this one does. But I just want to stuff it right now just to get a vibe of like, what can I stuff this with? Now, obviously this wouldn't even go with this, but it's flat. No, that doesn't work really. You might be able to force it in there, but it doesn't work well. So I would say this could be used for a cash or like a card. You could still dump something heavy inside here if you wanted to. Not that you would put this in here if you already have the big multi-tool. I just want to show that that's possible. And of course, I can't even get it out. I don't know how I feel about keeping them, but I do think that they're great. I think the pouches are great. It's just a matter of if they fit what you're going to use them for. I don't know if it fits what I'm going to use them for that well, but because I like to be slim with what I have in my pockets. And the first setup I did with that and the armbar slim and the pen and this in place of keys was okay, but still, I don't know if I would do that. But just in general, I think that they both work great. It's just a matter if you're one of those type of guys. If you're one of those guys who like having things like bulky things in your pockets, you might even have like one of these pouches on your side of your belt. That might be for you. If you're one of those guys who like to kind of travel slim, which is more my style, kind of have a very minimalist thing going on, where you can be casually like a kind of like casual dressy and you don't feel like you're that worker kind of person, you know what I mean? That construction worker kind of vibe, where you have all those kind of things on you, then, you know, this kind of thing will kind of challenge that type of setup. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.